We've got a lot of people here. I wanted to start, as I always do, with somebody else's work, and the person that's been on my mind here for a while is Lou Reed, who I consider one of our great street poets. And it's one of those weird things where, you know, celebrities are dying right and left all the time, but the way people in general reacted when Lou Reed died showed me that you don't just have to be a New Yorker to have been touched by this man. It seemed like it really bothered a lot of people. So I'm going to do my Steve Allen routine and read Magic and Loss. When you pass through the fire, you pass through humble. You pass through a maze of self-doubt. When you pass through humble, the lights can blind you. Some people never figure that out. You pass through arrogance, you pass through hurt, you pass through an ever-present past. And it's best not to wait for luck to save you. Pass through the fire to the light. Pass through the fire to the light. Pass through the fire to the light. It's best not to wait for luck to save you. Pass through the fire to the light. As you pass through the fire, your right hand waving, there are things you have to throw out. That caustic dread inside your head will never help you out. You have to be very strong because you'll start from zero over and over again. And as the smoke clears, there's an all-consuming fire lying straight ahead. Lying straight ahead. Lying straight ahead. As the smoke clears, there's an all-consuming fire lying straight ahead. They say no one person can do it all, but you want to in your head. But you can't be Shakespeare, and you can't be Joyce. So what is left instead? You're stuck with yourself and a rage that can hurt you. You have to start at the beginning again. And just this moment, this wonderful fire started up again. When you pass through humble, when you pass through sickly, when you pass through I'm better than you all, when you pass through anger and self-deprecation and have the strength to acknowledge it all, when the past makes you laugh and you can savor the magic that let you survive your own war, you find that fire is passion and there's a door up ahead, not a wall. As you pass through fire, try to remember its name. When you pass through fire, licking at your lips, you cannot remain the same. And if the building's burning towards that door, move towards that door, but don't put the flames out. There's a bit of magic in everything, and then some loss to even things out. Some loss to even things out. Some loss to even things out. There's a bit of magic in everything, and then some loss to even things out. Lou Reed. Thank you. In my class today, I mentioned that I've been to poetry readings where, for basically the entire time as you're trying to read, there's an espresso machine going on front of your head. So one of the reasons that we really love Mel and Mark and Cover to Cover is that they generally speaking, don't make drinks while people are trying to read.
Except for you.
Yes.
This is the last one.
So it's my pleasure to introduce the person who gave me permission to let people know that she's the official videographer for Ghost Town Poetry. So she's really been doing a great job getting these videos up. So I hope you let her know how much you appreciate that. Tiffany.
I'm still trying to improve my video skills, so if there's anything you see I can improve on, let me know. This is my son Bryce. He's actually going to play while I read tonight. So he's 15. He's a freshman at Hudson's Bay High School, and it's always an honor to have my kids with me. So we are going to do a poem called "The Sunflowers Are Dying." The sunflowers are dying. Their heavy heads hunched over, petals lay beneath them on the burnt summer grass. The remaining petals are wilted. The seeds from their center, now embedded into warm dirt, birds' food for the winter. Sunflowers turn throughout the day, follow the track of the sun across the sky, east in the morning as the sun rises, west in the evening as the sun sets. The sunflowers lay withered at my feet. I mourn the end of the sunflower cycle. August watches the clock. Tick, 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 tock. Fade into fall. Thank you, Bryce. The next poem I'm going to read is a very short poem. Mike G is not here yet, but my friend Robin, who the first time she ever read at open mic was in July, I believe, or August. And Mike G read the poem about When Sunshine Gets to Mind. And so she told him about this poem about sunshine being a good thing. So this is a poem by my friend Robin. There's no title, but I'm reading it for Mike G. So, elevated pendant above the realm I am bound to, gazing upon the brilliance falling, illuminating an earthbound creature, caressing sensation of warmth upon the casing of a child's soul. Gracious is the embraced, received by a yearning spirit, longing to glow. Mental illness and years of therapy, I still love and long for summer every year. Thank you.
Okay. Open mic MC 101. Make sure that mic is on. I believe it's on. Okay, and next we're going to hear from someone who's reading here for the first time, so hope that you can give him a lot of love. Andre, welcome.
And this is my first poem, so it's called Locked Inside, and it's about like a person with Asperger's syndrome. I feel like I came here from another planet. Experience others have, I find myself left out. Something special happens on stage. Everyone claps. Clap, I say to myself. Why? I must copy everyone else. Smile, I say to myself. Why? I must duplicate them. I am an actor. I must fill the role. Somebody says someone close to them has died. What do? Say I'm sorry. Hug them. I do. It feels so fake, so frozen. I hope they didn't notice. Show empathy, they say. Empathy? What is that? I know none. I'm only acting what others do. Can they tell? Did I hide my real self? Have I fooled them? I am stuck in their world. I must follow their rules. Those who know me, who have gotten close, always see the coldness. I must show warmth. What is warmth? I know not. My brain is so active. Every night I ponder the inconsistencies of the systems I find myself in. I wake. I write them down. I tell my wife. Her only response, go to sleep, no one cares. I found the answers to solve some of the world's deepest problems. If only someone will hear. I cannot hold it back. Deaf ears. Am I in some delusion? I wonder. But it can't be. The logic is impeccable. I speak again. Can anyone show me the error of my way? Again, deaf ears. Who cares?
So we've been all ages and uncensored from the beginning, and here's someone who's been coming since the beginning because he had no choice. Angela Luna.
Always got to step.
Yeah. So this is for, I had to do an assignment for my language arts class, and so we had to do an adaptation of a play in the form of a Greek play, like a story. So my group did Alice in Wonderland. So here's a prologue to it. Look here, my child, and I will tell of a story that is truly wild. It is about a girl that was of your own age, who escaped her life to take the stage. on a new kind of adventure that would make her rage. She would meet new people like Tweedles too, and smiling cats that would purr and coo, and on her way she would find quite puzzling a hare and a hatter, tea they were guzzling. So she went on her way to meet the Red Queen, who turned out to be a pain in her spleen. Her friends were enslaved with their dignity, along with their heads slayed. So she went on to find the sword, and cut into the beast as it roared and roared. That, my child, is the tale of Alice. She was very happy, but she struck with great malice. This is a tale like none other, so for your life tell this tale to not another.
Next, it's my pleasure to welcome my Clark College colleague, Jerry Smith.
I got a public announcement I want to make first. The Columbia Writers Series, which is Clark College's very old, 20-year-old writing series, is going before the student government to ask for more funding. We're trying to increase our fundings by, 100%, because we have $1,500 now, we're asking for $15,000. We brought people like Nikki Giovanni, Martin Espada, Sherman Alexie, Roy Blount Jr., Kayla Gwynn. They've all, lots of good readers, and we want to continue that tradition. So we need to petition support from our community. So I've asked Chris, and he said, sure. If you guys want to sign this, I would really appreciate it. And I guess I'm going to leave it up here so you can sign during the break. And I also have an email list. If you want to sign up, you can then get emails about the upcoming readings, which Chris will announce later.
You just put your name, or do you have to
Yeah,
put your address
just sign your
or
name.
anything?
Yeah, the students aren't going to check whether you're real or not, so I'm going to write my name like 5 times. I was going to play the guitar, but we've got another guitar player here, so only one guitar player a night, right? So I'm going to read this poem from a long manuscript that I've got out circulating around now called Grindstone. And it's about growing up as a sheep shearer in Ohio, learning from my dad. And this is about him. The joints. His eldest son placed the joints on the nightstand beside the sheetless bed in which our father slept. Widow, 20 years despite natural urges. I found a Playboy once under his bed while vacuuming, but I did not disturb the pages further, only exposed the clean, plush rectangle beneath neglect. The joints sat for months despite imploring that medical herbs had biblical sanction, that anecdotal evidence suggests reduced nausea with just one long inhalation. But he would not, regardless that he now drank a beer a day, ending a life of prohibition at his physician's request. The joints of Jamaican lamb's breath would leave one woolly-mouthed and thirsty, increase one's appetite exponentially. Still, he preferred his red man's chewing tobacco, admitted that it once gave him a buzz. When I reversed his question, why do you smoke weed, Jerry? The joints didn't cost much less than the anti-nausea drugs his insurance didn't cover. Still, he would not inhale the smoke, afraid of losing his wits, the legacy of reefer madness, even though he had grown his son's weed in his garden compost pile of sheep manure. The plant grew 15 feet in rotten vegetables, so tall. The sheriff didn't see what he didn't expect, looking for the usual suspects, my younger brother. So tall, my Texas brother didn't recognize the leaf, gently brushing his hand, resting on the garden fence. Didn't realize his father had grown 5 pounds of bud and 10 pounds of shake, enough to pay for books for my doctorate in poetry. The joints finally did the job, but not for him. We smoked one after his leukemia burnt his blood, depleted his strength until his heart murmur knocked out his breath, finally flattened him. So many times he had risen from that palpitation to reassure his sons he was not yet ready for the next life. The other joint, I slipped in his leather vest pocket, in his Harley Davidson attire. Elderly James Dean, modern day Pharaoh, buried with his fruit and herb. He would awaken, I absolutely believe, still believe, and finally light up.
So that reading that will feature Zachary Schomburg, and I'm sorry to say we can't recall the name of the prose writer that will be there. There'll be 2 writers, and I believe that's 1 o'clock.
His last name is Persick.
Persick, 1 o'clock on November 18th, which I think is a Monday. And it's open to the public, so the main thing to think about is that parking can be a challenge. So leave yourself a little bit extra time if you want to come to that. And I will be, emailing the people that are on my newsletter and things like that about that, and the Facebook friends that I have will make sure it gets up there too. So next we're going to hear from Julie. You ready, Julie?
Yep.
All right, here she comes.
I'm glad Chris is about as tall as I am. The first one I'm going to share is my very first attempt at bridge poetry. I titled it Crimson. Red, the mist whispers beneath her forest moon dream, singing of spring. And this next one, I work in a call center sending out legal guides to businesses, OSHA guides, and I ran across the name of a construction company, and it was Concrete Illusions. That got me to thinking, and within about 24 hours I had a poem. And I call it Cemented Delusion. Shadows fall like ghosts here in this twilight realm. Memories of songs, of laughter, echoes from those concrete illusions. I, left with wonder, contemplate in this mire of questions unanswered. What of those who lived here? Those who ate, those who slept, those who made love, those who laughed, sang, and dreamt. And what of those dreams? Those hopes, those plans, those schemes built here? Aftershocks, culture shocks, tremors pulverizing, obliterating societal foundations, leaving only echoes and dust. And I wonder, what new thing will scrawl itself upon this blank slate? Joyce and I have a challenge for you guys. And I'll let her go ahead and...
Julie had called me about this Concrete Illusions company.
She
And she
started
gave
writing
me the
it
challenge to
herself.
write a poem using that also. So I wrote a poem as well, called Concrete Illusions. Concrete illusions. Is this called what you see is what you get? Or is this an illusion of ego? Is it a solid mirage of convenience? Or is it a sleight of hand distracting magic? Concrete illusions. Is it a dubious frame of reference? Or is this rock solid flim-flam? Is it a silent statue to man's engineering? Or is it engineered wishful thinking? Concrete illusions. Is this the multiple presentations of structure, or is it the myriad of oxymorons? Is it the belief of religious solidarity, or is it the pretended thoughts of missionaries? Concrete illusions. Is this the menagerie of man's theories in stone, or is it the menagerie of the hate-filled judgment that eclipses the solidity of our imagination? Is our thoughts weighed down by all that concrete? Concrete illusions. Is it the empty triumphs of construction, or is it the stony silence of hidden apathy? Is it really the solid imagination we have, Or is our feet stuck at the bottom of the Jimmy Hoffa Sea? Concrete illusions. 2 words that describe reality. A reality that is real for each one of us. Earth has 7 billion versions. Yes, 7 billion versions of concrete illusions. We all have a concrete way of presenting our illusions. We see our illusions in concrete terms. So is it just my concrete illusion? Or is my illusion of my concrete stoning yours? Concrete illusions? Before I move on to my last presentation here, my next poem. Next Wednesday is my open mic at Paper Tiger Coffee Roasters, and Grace Valentine will be my guest speaker, so hopefully you can attend. This one is called The Good Old Days, and if you're over 60, you might get some of the humor in this. If not, well, you just have to be over 60. The good old days. Remember when it used to be the good old days? Remember when we had to hide under our desks just in case of a nuclear attack? Remember when it used to be the good old days? Remember when our favorite actor was branded a communist? Remember when Dad divorced Mommy because of the milkman? Remember when it used to be the good old days? Remember when it was DDT, not GMO? It was KKK, not GOP. It was KGB, not NSA. Remember when cars had rocket fins and gas was 25 cents a gallon and got 10 miles per gallon? Remember when we had polio vaccine and diphtheria and yellow fever and malaria and gout, but not AIDS? Remember when it used to be the good old days? Remember when you could say, "Queen for a day"? You could say, "What's my line?" You could say, "I've got a secret," but you didn't have Vanna White. Remember when there was a chicken in every pot, a car in every garage, but no Obamacare? Remember when Sputnik meant a space race, Apollo was the space race, and we landed on the moon? Or was the whole thing faked? Remember when Glenn Miller played? Songs made the hit parade. Didn't need no welfare check? Or our old LaSalle ran great? Men were men and women were women? Those were the days. Remember when it used to be the good old days? Well, they are the good old days, and today we're making more good old days so that tomorrow we can sing "Those Were the Good Old Days." For some strange reason, they all look the same.
Whenever I hear the voice that comes out of the mouth of our next reader, I think he was born to do this thing. Please say hello to Nathan.
First, I'd like to say that I do have a chapbook out, Junk Mail of the Heart. I did bring it in, I forgot. It's out in my car though, so if anybody wants it, during the break, come see me. Ty Burke Neff was a musician, an Irish musician. He played a big old double bass, wrote songs, he sang, part of this band called the Calvinists. A week after his 32nd birthday, he was killed in a car wreck. One of the songs that they did was about the Memphis Belle, that famous World War II bomber. And so it's referencing that a little bit. So, Ty Burke Neff, the Lost Calvinist. He's flying high now, as he sings, into the porous, amplified surface of the microphone to the aged crew of the Memphis Belle while he twitches the strings of the big double bass. He's flying high now. He has been, ever since that Tuesday in Bantry, when his mom, his bandmates, and friends held his hands as they sang his spirit home. They sang as his life support system shut down. They sang as his breath slowed to a stop. They sang to him as he passed away, surrounded by the notes strummed from their breath-fingered vocal cords. He's flying high now, as 2,000 people, fans, friends, families, loved ones, overrun the town, pack St. Finbarr's church so that they may bid him farewell, share stories, weep, blow noses into tissues, eat, drink, laugh, but keep part of him alive. He's flying high now, as the frozen flower that gave him life is flown from Bantry, Cork to Dublin to be planted in another garden so that his mother might be comforted that his heart still beats on to his tune, although in another scarred chest. And that 8 others receive his life so that they might breathe on, sing on, spread his smile, spread his laughter, so that he may continue to fly. This is called Gold Stars. When we were kids, we coveted the gold stars. We looked at our spelling tests for that gold sticker pasted below the big 100% red ink. Or if we banged our fingers against the ivory natural keys of the mahogany-stained upright piano, correctly time our tips to touch the ebony keys as the tune spills from our hands and the teacher sticks that sticker on the music book page the song is printed. And then when we grow up and we have kids of our own, we look forward to see the glow of their ecstatic faces as they bring home ribbons of gold stars for math quizzes, perfect attendance, reading skills, or even just for not talking in class. However, once they are grown, we dread these gold stars. We would rather see our babies wake up in the middle of the night, night lights glint off night sweat skin with their post-traumatic dreams. Or they could return to us as they adjust to the use of their metallic arms and legs, or the scars on their bodies that can fade and be covered with memorial tattoos. Just so long as they come back to us alive. This month I've been taking part in just a friendly little challenge. It's 30 days of poetry. You write a poem each day of the month. At first it's okay. First it goes on really well, then it gets fucking hard. But it's called Drunken Howls. Sometimes I feel like howling at the moon, half-empty bottle of Black Bush in one hand, discordant harpsichord voice box in the other. To shake the clouds, quake the stars, scream each tear of my heart to Mars. And sometimes I wish to scrape the layers of hair-covered skin with a serrated rigger's blade, strip by blood-drenched strip, then sew it back together with a canvas needle, sailor's palm strapped to my right hand. Sail twine pokes through the needle's eye, point pierces the epidermis as the needle plunges into the thick layers. To sew the sailor's edge between the strips of skin, scoop out the fat with a soup spoon, toss it on the fire as I sculpt my body into something new, something appealing, a thinner me, a more muscular me. Maybe a different fucking face. Sometimes I want to slam the paper cutter's blade upon my wrist to cut off my hands so that I can no longer be able to write. And sometimes I want to jab a hooked crochet needle into my eyes, pluck those little gelled orbs from the sockets so that I can no longer see. And sometimes I wish to grab some tongs, surround my tongue with the cupped ends, rip it from the black hole of my mouth so that I can no longer speak or sing. And sometimes I just want to stab my fucking chest with the curved end of a rusted crowbar so that I may pry open my ribcage, reach in that cavity, past the oozing organs, rip out my heart as it still beats the blood, pushes it through my veins, arteries, and capillaries, then toss it on the ground, stomp it with my boots so that I can no longer feel. And sometimes I want to shove a fucking spoon up my nostril, scoop out the 3 remaining brain cells so that I can no longer think. And maybe, just maybe, women might find me appealing.
That poem made me want to give Nathan a hug, but I think I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I don't want to get stabbed. Next we're going to hear from someone I'm slightly less worried about being stabbed by, Herb Stokes.
Hello! This is a prompt from a workshop. No, I won't do it again. What I wanted. As a child, I wanted darker colored skin like my older sister, and short curly hair like my pal Wally Brosnan. My sister wanted lighter colored hair like mine. She said blonde hair was a waste on a guy. Blonde girls always got the guy in the movies, but blonde guys never got the girl. I wasn't interested in getting the girl. I just wanted to be able to play in the sun and go to the beach without getting a painful sunburn. I wanted short curly hair so it wouldn't always be falling over my eyes when running the bases, shooting a basketball, or going deep for a pass. My skin never became darker, nor my hair short and curly. But occasionally, my sister did become a blonde. One more. Are you ready? Yeah! Good! Relic. I keep a love-worn pocket knife in the bottom drawer of my bedside table. In its day, it cut twigs on which to impale marshmallows that were roasted over a fire for the kiddies' dessert at a picnic. Or sometimes used to cut off a small straight tree branch, which would be further trimmed into an arrow for a rustic bow. And it also sharpened the ends of sticks that held down the edges of a large green plastic sheet we kept as a makeshift backyard tent on pleasant summer days and evenings. Or used just to whittle odd shapes that took imagination coupled with laughter to guess what the strange shapes that I held in my hands represented. The knife resided in a pants pocket or shared a portion of a dresser with coins and keys. But I am only the custodian of this blessed blade that my father wielded as a tool or toy or wand to bring us pleasure or surprise and always love. Thank you!
Thank you, Herb. And now a poet slightly less likely to scream into the microphone, Jennifer Pratt Walter.
I was gonna yell, but you stole my thunder.
We could have primal screaming in the parking lot.
This piece is called Strange Angels. Suppose angels are created like vampires, bitten by death in a strange and holy annunciation, an ectopic pregnancy somewhere in the working of God's mind. This lifeline crossing my palm, it's smaller in time than the width of one of my fine brunette hairs. There, the angel of time measures and tallies our span, meets out the unspun destiny. The angel of pain bites us, a sympathetic vampire, to move us across, to pay the balance. The death angel, friend of those who suffer, hovers beside us all, not by invitation, but by the summoning written in the end of our lifeline. Say when. and this piece is called Dance. I wrote this after going to one of the local contra dances. Your invitation, the warm hand, rounded fingers, music that is anti-gravity, anti-denial, alive and a sidle and a slide. Music lies fresh all over the floor and walls. We reach out, we cross over, then we're spinning, turning to the right, swing your partner, they call it. Your face holds still in the spin, keeping mine in thrall. Behind it, the room swirls away. Music gathers us up and leads us to the place of your wide, laughing eyes, your slightly asymmetric smile, your voice like warm bread and golden wine. Your mouth, it dances too, closer, closer. Soon it might be all that's left of this gathering, your face lit like a lantern, your lips bending your head down to press a kiss upon mine. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna have two more people before we introduce our feature, and the first of those two is James. Where's James at? I'm not sure if I said hello. James, oh, are you ready to do your thing? All right. Do you want me to bring the mic to you?
No.
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
See, didn't know he was coming up next. It's okay. That happens.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Don't trip.
Yeah. Don't trip. I wrote a couple poems here, and my friend Tiffany told me, said you ought to write about stuff you know. And I don't know how well that's going to go over, because if you listen to these, you'll figure out that I need a woman in my life bad. It's okay to laugh, but don't judge me. The first one's called Hit or Miss. In every man's life, he will see that woman that his heart desires. And for me, it happened just like this. For other men, lucky or not, they too could hit or miss. I have often said the heart wants what it wants. Over that, we have no control. The heart comes with the strongest cord. It wraps tightly around one's soul. I seen the most beautiful woman just the other day. I wanted to speak, hopefully make her smile, but I knew not what to say. For one brief moment when her eyes met mine, and at first sight it seemed, her eyes quickly turned from a gorgeous hazel to the deepest green. My heart started to flutter wildly, and my soul just wanted to sing. I wondered if it were love or lust. No, it wasn't either of those. But in that moment, when she smiled my way, I felt satisfied from my head down to my toes. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Her beauty others may not see. But whatever anyone thinks is fine, stunning, and unforgettable, she is all those things to me. Everything about her fills my memory. Her hair, her eyes, her lips. She has the most beautiful smile I've ever seen, and the cutest little hips. Her style screams of elegance. Oh my God, she's sexy too. She carries herself in such a sporty way. And you know, when she turns and walks, she takes men's breath away. The only way to describe this woman is an angel to earth from heaven sent. And if my God has ever said, this I know is my finest creation, she is what he meant. Remember on that day, I knew not what to say. Hit or miss, I missed. That's it. One other one I'd like to try. Let's see. I can find it. Like I said, I probably need to find something better to do with my time. But this is about a dream I had. Well, anyway, the name of it is As She Dances in My Dreams. This is Visions of a Belly Dance. She comes to me in my slumber. In her dance, it's a trance I find myself under. She's tall, beautiful, her body so fine. She's seductive, soft, stimulating. Tonight she's all mine. Out of the darkened shadows of my sleep, into the light of my desire, she starts to dance. She starts my fire. The drums, long flutes, and strings start to play. Her arms and fingers reach skyward, and her hips start to sway. Pink and purple gems decorate her bedla, so bright, embroidered in gold, beads, sequins reflecting her light. Her breasts are full, and her back is arched. Her hair flows like the water over the falls. Her knees bends and her legs flex, and her toes point downward. I'm loving it all. Her arms move like waves over a hot Persian sea, and her hips move up and down. Her gyrations vary, slow to fast, left to right, more graceful than any bird in flight. Her hip belt swings from side to side, slowly, soft. She sometimes wears a veil over her face, so no other men can see. So there's only one man that knows her true beauty, and that lucky guy is me. She rolls her entire body so effortlessly, open my eyes wide to take in her as much as I can. Her dance is so sensual, it ravages my mind. I'm only a man. I get excited physically, watching her dance, her sex, her art, and her dance touches me emotionally, to my soul and my heart. As she dances closer to me, and I reach out to touch, I hear the crash of the ring of her finger cymbals, and I woke up.
You know, so one of the only reasons why I would have the audacity to stand at the front of a classroom and try to talk to people about poetry and writing is that I think about those people in my life who at key moments, you know, encouraged me to try, encouraged me to keep trying to do this thing of making art, making poetry, and so it's really a privilege to do that. And you know, one of the things all of you could do if you believe in this thing is encourage your friends to write. You know, it's pretty easy to do that part, right? The poems are the hard part. And so now we're going to hear from someone who's here for the very first time, Jacob Thomason. Come on up.
This is awfully cool, isn't it? So, I was really happy when Mr. Luna, I call him Mr. Luna, he's my teacher. Yeah, I got quite an English... You'll get over that. Got quite an English paper built up as well in his class. So, you know, I mean, this is awesome, and I'm really happy. He's going to let me do a song. I'm going to sing, so it's kind of like talking, but you extend the words a lot and with a tone, so it's like singing. And this is about a dream that I had as well. You had a dream as well. It's nice. But this one was about my children that I haven't had yet. So it was a cool deal. It was cool to feel it. And I thought, hey, I'll write down a little something. So I'll try to be really clear when I'm singing. So anyways, this is called Awaken.
Starts to sing with your mother. What a life, what a life. And as all this love was falling and raining over me, reality was calling, for I was in a dream. Awaken my heart. Awaken eyes to see the world. I dropped you off at high school today, and I felt time was pulling me away. Hey there, grown-up boy, don't let a girl be your only choice. Your father had to learn, I had to crash, I had to burn, till I found your mother. Oh, now she's my wife. She's my wife. As all his love was falling and raining over me, reality was calling, for I was in a dream. Awake in my heart, oh yeah. Awake, yeah, oh yeah. But it was all a dream, it was all a dream. Why was it all a dream? It was all a dream.
Yeah, I'm inclined to give Jacob an A because he's writing an essay on the Winchester rifle, and I don't want to get shot. Try to pick up on themes here, because poets believe in the collective consciousness, right? So our guest for tonight, we're really happy to have her, is Maggie Shula, who's been writing and teaching haiku, tanka, and haibun for more than 30 years.